All right, welcome to the Urban Pitch Podcast, the beautiful game of life. Today we have three freestylers with us today. Do you guys mind going around in this direction? Actually, let's start with the ladies first. We'll go this way. All right, you mind just introducing yourself?
Hey, I'm Caitlyn. I'm from California.
I'm Umar, and I'm also from California. I've been a professional freestyler for about 5 years now.
Mm-hmm. I'm Tom Folan. I'm 22 years old, and I am a freestyler from London.
Nice. I like it how as you guys went by, it got more and more in depth, and the resume started coming out, right? Add a little bit more, right? Yeah. All right. So then you guys are all friends, though, right?
Yeah, sure.
Good friends.
How'd you guys meet? Go ahead. You want to start? Just jump in, just like regular,
Well, I met Caitlyn at a performance. I was working for the LA Galaxy back when I was contracted with them. I think it was
about 3 years ago.
Yeah, about 3 years ago.
Right.
And I met Caitlyn at this event, and I don't think I actually met you. I only saw you in a picture with. She met the rest of the team.
Right,
at this time, we had a team performing.
This was when you guys were. So then Caitlyn, you were doing freestyle for LA Galaxy at the time.
No, I actually wasn't freestyling at all.
You weren't freestyling at all.
She was just a keeper.
Okay.
She was just a keeper.
Okay, but you were freestyling at the time.
I was freestyling. Yeah.
This was only like 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So you've only been freestyling less than 3 years then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and Caitlyn came up to two of the freestylers on the team, and she showed interest in it. And one of my close friends, Jeremy, messaged her and found her on YouTube.
Jereminho, right?
Yeah, Jereminho. Yeah.
Hey, well, this is the freestyle community, man. Just say it. No one's gonna know who Jeremy is, right? Everyone knows Jereminho, right?
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Everyone knows I'm a Korean.
Okay, that's his handle, right? I'm a Korean.
That's
Okay.
his handle. But yeah, Jereminho messaged her, and she came. We trained with her a few times, and those trainings turned into multiple trainings.
I see. So this was when you were on the LA, you were performing for LA Galaxy at the time?
Yeah.
For like the shows and all that?
Yeah, halftime shows and pregame entertainment.
This was Futboleros or?
Yeah, this was Futboleros at the time, unfortunately.
Okay.
Yeah.
So unfortunately, huh? Okay. You want to get into that, or?
I guess we'll get into that later.
Yeah.
I mean, we could get into it. It's just all right. 0 to 100 real quick.
Oh.
It's just Futboleros is not a freestyle soccer company. It's a soccer company that puts on a facade of freestyle that makes it look like they know how to freestyle when in reality they don't actually have any people who I consider real freestylers on the team.
At the moment,
yeah.
Now.
In the past, they had us. They had Daniel Azam, Peter Azam, two brothers.
Right.
They had Caitlyn, Jeremy, Alex 17, current USA champion, and they had myself.
Right.
And it just came to a point where Jereminho left first, and we all stayed for a while, and we just realized we couldn't deal with the fakeness of Futboleros. Like the image it was showing was not freestyle, and being someone who's very passionate about freestyle and loves freestyle, I wanted to be represented in the best possible way.
I see.
And I felt like when I was a part of Futboleros, I was more of a clown than I was a freestyler. It got to a point where he started making us do things with our hands in performances.
Okay.
And his logic was, they want to see things that they can do. Okay. And my immediate reaction to that was, you're completely wrong. People want to be blown away and see things that they've never seen before.
Okay.
That's why I love freestyle, because it's so special, especially the first time someone sees it, because it's so different. It's something you don't see every day. But that was kind of a partial reasoning as to why a lot of us left Futboleros.
Okay. I see.
Because of that image it created.
Right. So then, you were part of Futboleros for a little bit as well, Caitlyn?
I was, yeah. That was kind of where I started freestyling. After I met Umar and Jeremy, I started training with them, and they brought me onto the team, which at the time was really cool because I was brand new to everything. Okay.
And plus, you could join Futboleros because you're allowed to use your hands at the time, right? So it's not a big deal, right?
That's why
I could
we
do
brought
it too.
a keeper on.
Right.
I fit right in, yeah.
Okay.
But it seemed really cool in the beginning when all the guys were there, but the more I was there, the more I kind of saw that it was less about the freestyle for him and more about kind of getting the attention from people and just making money. And it didn't really go with how we valued freestyle, and it really put down what we were doing.
I see.
Especially when he started bringing on kids who couldn't really freestyle. They could do a couple of tricks, and he wanted everybody to kind of have the same level. So it really brought down what we were doing.
Not to mention outsourcing events to those kids and not even paying them.
Yeah.
and on top of like the money thing with Futboleros, he paid everyone under the table.
I see.
It was just something sketchy and something that I didn't want to be a part of anymore. After 1 year, I joined solely out of passion for freestyle because I wanted that experience performing. And Futboleros gave me that, you know. I did so many events with them, and I got a lot of performance experience. And once I got that and I felt confident in myself and I knew that I could perform anywhere, it doesn't matter how many people, it doesn't matter where it is, I'm never anxious or nervous to perform anymore because of that. The multiple experiences, just after doing something for so long, you know, it becomes normal. And when I got to that point, I was like, I can do this on my own. What do I need anyone else for? And when I saw that the other freestylers on the team had that mentality as well, we decided to leave and work together to get events on our own. You know, cut out the middleman who doesn't care about freestyle and promote freestyle the right way, all while, you know, being able to get events for ourselves.
So like a common thing that you guys are talking about, and I hear a lot within the freestyle community, is kind of like I don't know, it's like there's a family, and you know, you guys keep on saying it's not like within the spirit of what you guys are passionate about and whatnot. Like, you know what I mean? I think people within the freestyle community like readily understand what you're talking about, but like for, you know, people like me that, you know, appreciate it, but I'm not a freestyler and I'm not in the, you know, I'm not in the family. So, you know what I mean? Like, what do you guys mean by that?
I think it's definitely has something to do with how small freestyle it is and how unique it is. When you meet someone who has that same passion, that same drive, that same dedication as you just instantly click. And that's why I can say that the freestylers that I meet in like 2 to 3 days, I feel such close relationships with them as if I've known them for so long. But I just feel like we instantly click because we have this same insane devotion to a ball where we spend a ridiculous amount of time training. And
it's like an unspoken thing that's just like you guys. So like, you know, Tom, you're here, right, from the UK, right? And you're crashing at his place, right, right now, or Daniel's place together, right? So that's kind of like, is that part of it? Like, where you guys just naturally, like, you know?
Well,
if I'm a freestyler, can I just go to UK and like hit up some freestylers and be like, yo, I need a crash?
That's what I was going to say. Like, I had,
instead of Airbnb?
until a few days ago, until I arrived, I had never met Daniel before, and now I'm staying at his place.
Oh, you had it?
Nope, never. So,
yeah,
I guess there's a certain etiquette between freestylers where once you've been involved with the community for a certain amount of time, you're basically never homeless. Like, I could go to Vietnam, I could go to Pakistan, I could go anywhere in the world and have multiple places to stay, often for free. So that's it's definitely one of the coolest things about it. And even Umar, like, I met Umar for the first time last year. I met Caitlyn for the first time last year. Umar actually jumped on me and gave me a massive hug on a bus, which was quite the icebreaker.
With freestyle.
Because so the first time you guys met, but you had known each other through social media. And all that.
We'd spoken on Facebook for a number of years. So it's cool.
All right, so then obviously there's like, you know, world life, you know, experiences where you get to travel around the world and all that kind of stuff. So what are some of the, you know, the great things about being a freestyler before we get to the money part, you know? Like, other than the money, the financial, right? We'll leave that on the table for now. You know, what are some of the great things of being a freestyler?
I mean, freestyle truly is like a lifestyle for us. I think a lot of people see it as just tricks with a football, tricks with a soccer ball, whatever. And that's fair enough. Like, if you're not involved with it, then it's difficult to truly know what it's about just by looking at it from the surface. But for all of us, it is truly a lifestyle. Like, we live freestyle, and it doesn't just apply to practice. It applies to the way we travel, like the way we interact with people. Like, freestylers are some of the most compassionate and like just open people who I've ever met. So yeah, whenever we come together, it's always a good time. And you know, you get to travel so much with freestyle that it means, like, for me at least personally, I feel like it's opened me up to a whole new world. Like, I understand so many different cultures that I probably wouldn't have done before. You know, I'm doing things like this in LA. Like, people where I'm from, they don't really, they're kind of pretty sheltered. So I'm blessed in that sense to be able to have opportunities like this to travel.
LA, Hollywood, right? And we're going to have Drake coming in a little bit. By the way. So then what about you, Caitlyn? Like, what are some of the best things, you know, being a freestyler?
I definitely agree with Tom. I think it opens you up to a lot of different cultures and a lot of different ways of living. And I know, like, through my own experiences, I've met a lot of really unique people, freestylers and non-freestylers. And I think that's the coolest part is, like, freestyle brings you to these places and just kind of, like, drops you there and you figure your own way out. And you meet these people and you make friends that you wouldn't normally ever even interact with. And I think that's the coolest part. Like, I think we get to live a really different lifestyle from what a lot of people do. And it's not all like fun and games and everything. There is work, but it's just something you learn to kind of love, and it teaches you to kind of find your own way out of certain situations.
Right. Okay. So then all three of you guys are pretty young. You said you're what, 20, what,
22 now.
22,
Yeah.
you're 20. And how old?
And also just turned 20 as well.
You just turned 20?
Yeah.
20? Okay.
20.
So Tom's the only one that can go drink
I feel
afterwards,
old.
right? Yeah, you're an old guy, right? But then you guys are all pro, though, right? You guys are all pro freestylers, so you guys make a living off of it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And is that your guys' goal? Like, is that your intention to become a professional freestyler for, as a profession?
Personally, I'm studying business right now, so I'm also a full-time student as well as doing freestyle. And I want there to be a point in the future where I can successfully have my own like entertainment agency for freestyle. And
Yeah, but then you're gonna be the middleman, and you just said
No.
right?
He's gonna be the good one.
Oh, you're gonna be the good
I'm gonna be
middleman.
the good middleman.
Okay, right.
But it's not that I want it to be my own. I don't want to own it. I want to collaborate with multiple freestylers on it.
Okay.
So I want us to run it. I
Right.
don't want it to be just something to be run by one thing. And I also want to put on freestyle camps because I think there's so much potential for freestyle, especially here in California where we're blessed with amazing weather like this all the time. I think that freestyle has a lot of potential to grow here. And it really shows that because we actually have the most freestylers in the U.S. in California here.
Probably because of the weather, you're saying, right?
Exactly.
It just allows you to practice more.
Yeah,
and
it
be
gives you
outside.
the opportunity to practice more. And the more freestylers we have, the more exposure there will be to the outside world. And I think it's just going to kind of exponentially increase over time. And hopefully the scene will be at a point where like there will be, I think, a younger generation of freestylers who want to learn and who want to solely focus on freestyle.
Okay.
And we're going to be the pioneers because we were the first really freestylers who we are the first generation of freestylers here in California. And that right now may seem like something that's minuscule and not a big deal because we're still in this present moment, but in 5 years from now, in 10 years from now, we're going to be that
you're saying you guys are like the Powell Scores, the Tuzanis of the California?
California,
right?
exactly.
All right.
And it's pretty crazy that we're kind of blessed with the opportunity to be the first people to do something like this to
kind of mold how the next generation is going to be.
And I think that if I study business and I have a good understanding of how the real economical world works, I can really work well to apply freestyle into that. And by doing so, just spread freestyle.
Right. So it sounds like freestyle is still part of it, and you want to add the business side to it. Okay.
Definitely, yeah. And that's why I'm studying.
Okay. Yeah, you want to be pro? You want to make money off this? What's your goals, man?
Like, sorry, I got caught up in listening to Umar.
And being brainwashed by his agency that he's going to sign you on to soon.
Oh, she's already working on that.
Yeah, I think, because right now I'm in the same boat as Umar. I'm going to school. I'm a double major in kinesiology and French. And I think at a point in time, like, I do enjoy learning kinesiology, and I think I'd like to apply it. But for me, the number one thing is I do want to go pro. I want to kind of grow the freestyle scene and increase the exposure that we get and make a living off of it, because it's really hard to have a full-time regular job and to be a freestyler as well who's really serious about what we're doing. Yeah,
because it's tough to be a freestyler and in terms of making a living off of it, right? How many people do you think really make like a really good living? It's kind of
there's a decent amount. There's a decent amount now, but I think for me personally, like I've been doing freestyle for so long now, like it's coming up to 10 years.
10 years?
Yeah, okay. So I started when I was about 12 years old when I started. So basically my entire adult life, all I've known is freestyle. And I've seen a lot of people change along the way when they try and like they treat freestyle as a job and they try and make a living exclusively from performances and stuff. a lot of the time I've seen their passion for the sport just seep away completely, and they fall out of the community. Like, you lose contact with them. So,
and why do you think that is?
It's easy. Like, freestyle is a selfish industry.
Okay.
You know,
How so?
Well, if you want to do well in competitions, then you're the only person who controls like your training, when you train, how you train. So it's a very independent sport in that sense, and I think that transfers over to the business side. Like, at least in the UK, we kind of keep ourselves to ourselves a lot. Like, the community is not, I mean, we're all great friends, we get on really well, but we don't meet that much because we're always doing our own different things. And
there's limited jobs, right?
Yeah, there's so many.
Jobs,
I think the UK probably has the most amount of freestylers who make a living from freestyle in the world.
Has the most? Really?
Yeah, for sure. I think so.
Right.
Maybe UK and Germany. But for me, like, I'm not sure if I want to stay just purely straight freestyle, because I think there's other stuff I want to do. Like, I'm super into the whole veganism thing at the moment. And like, I feel like freestyle is my way to spread a message, which is much bigger than just myself. Like, freestyle's taught me a hell of a lot, but it's also, you know, it's given me directions in life that I never thought I'd go down. And so I feel that I don't want to be selfish anymore. Like, with freestyle, I feel like for a long time, all I've cared about is my own personal gain from it. Like, I'll get super happy if I get a big job, because, you know, it's money in the bank. It means you can keep going to freestyle trips. It means I can come places like this just because I want to. But it means more to me than that. Like I was saying, I've seen loads of people get pretty materialistic from it. So yeah, I want to use freestyle as like a means to spread a better message. Yeah, okay. Exactly.
All right. So then, when you guys, it sounds like you know, pro is an option for you guys. But then, like, when you first start getting into freestyle, and I'm sure you guys are probably able to do it now. Like, I know busking's like a big part of it, right? And kind of like the whole performance aspect of it, right? Do you do that like in the UK too, where you go on a weekend, like on a Saturday, in a a popular spot, and then, what do you do? Put a hat there on the side of the sidewalk? What do you guys do?
So there's definitely hot spots in London, which are the best for busking, just like there are throughout the UK. But there are some people who make a really good living from just busking alone. But I think it's more a good thing to do when you first get started. Like, it's a great thing to do for experience, because you get used to performing in front of people, and to be perfectly honest, you get used to not caring about what people think of you freestyling.
Okay. Yeah, you have like some negative experiences and all that. What's some of the, you guys do it, like, where's a good spot here in California? Like Santa Monica?
Santa Monica.
3rd Street?
Promenade.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then, without putting you guys on the spot, like, do you guys need a permit for that, by the way?
Yeah, you
can busking?
Yeah.
Okay, and you guys are all current on that? On your...
Still working on getting mine.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you go out and apply and get a permit, right? And then, I mean, for me, it would be kind of, it's kind of like nerve-wracking, right? Especially if you do it for the first time, like, hey guys, I'm trying to make, how do you do it? You put on, music is a big part of it?
To be honest, we don't really treat it like well, at least when I go with friends, I don't ever really treat it as performing for people. We go out there to have fun and
just do your thing.
Freestyle.
Just do your thing.
Just do our thing.
Okay.
And
the only difference is you have what, like a bucket next to you? What do you have?
Yeah,
that's
pretty
the
much.
difference.
What do you guys put? Is it literally a bucket?
We'll literally like take out a box or a bucket or whatever. And
you
we'll
put a
just
sign
leave
on
it
there?
there.
You
No,
put a
we
sign?
don't.
No.
We don't put anything.
It's a given.
We literally will just freestyle and leave it there. And who are we to say no if people want to? They think we're so amazing that they want to go leave us a tip. It's like, okay, that's cool. You guys enjoyed watching us. We're just training.
Plus, you guys just handle it casually, right?
Yeah.
You put music on and all that?
It's nowhere near as serious as probably the actual performance you would see on 3rd Street Promenade, which are there strictly to make money. They're just there to make money. That's
their full-time gig kind of thing, right?
That's their full-time kind of gig.
The only point I'd make about busking is that when you look at other sports, when you look at like the top athletes from other sports, they're not, you don't see world-class gymnasts like going to wherever, like by the London Eye, busking to try and make money. So
exactly.
I think...
But in freestyle, you're saying you might see some really top players.
Yeah, you might do, which I don't know, like, it's not for me to say whether that's a good or a bad thing for the image of the sport, but I think it's something to think about, definitely, because... Like I was saying, you don't see that in other sports. You don't see the top athletes.
That's kind of how I was talking about. It's not Well, for me at least, I feel like for a majority of other freestylers, they're just doing it for fun, and they're saying, "Hey,
Right.
if I can make some money on the side while I'm just training,
Yeah, that's good too, right?
yeah, that's good too."
So then, do you guys have any bad experiences? Because, like, I don't know about like in London, but Third Street Promenade is like a touristy area, and you got
Very
all kinds
touristy
of
area.
people coming through there,
Yeah,
right?
definitely.
So you got negative. You have what's like negative things that's happened? Someone ever come by and jack your money, for example?
No, that's
No
never
one's come, took your box, and started
but-
running while you guys are sitting there doing, the head stall, and you don't even see them.
I mean, the only thing that's kind of annoying
Yeah.
probably when we're busking at 3rd Street would be just, people blatantly walking like right next to us as we're performing.
Okay.
Instead of just, it would be
Just
pretty,
taking-
yeah,
kinda go
pretty
around.
simple
Yeah, give
to
me
just
some-
kind of go
yeah.
around, but they just want to walk in. That's probably the only negative
see.
experiences I've ever had while busking.
Okay. Yeah.
It's
No,
just-
no one's ever bothered you or anything.
I had
like
a
that?
super negative experience in London.
Okay, what was that?
It wasn't anyone stealing stuff or
Yeah.
whatever, but it was just
Umar
like
came in and just stole the thunder from you or something?
No, it was I was with one of my close friends from Freestyle called John Wetton, and we had this great idea to go busking around Christmas time in London, and so I got an elf costume, right, and he got a Santa costume, and we thought, yeah, this is a good
Okay,
idea.
I
We're
can
gonna
kinda
go to
see,
London.
Yeah.
I
I can see, okay, the holiday season, maybe a lot of people might be drunk at that
yeah.
time,
This-
and then
this
they
was
see a
a
guy in
long
an elf
time ago.
costume. It's a bad mix, right?
But
Okay.
no, I would like to say that this was a long time ago. But
Okay.
we had like all the Christmas remix songs. We thought it was, we were gonna do well. We were gonna make a killing.
Okay.
And as soon as we got there, it started absolutely hammering it down with rain. So
Okay.
there was nobody there at all. And we went for like 2 hours, and we made 35p each, which is like I guess 35 cents or something.
35 cents? So
Yeah,
someone gave you,
so-
what, a quid? What do you
Uh-huh,
mean?
yeah, and
Okay, and you guys
we-
split that right down the middle?
Well, it was just a terrible day. So I have kind of negative connotations attached to the
I
word
see.
busking ever since that
I
experience.
see. Well, they just call it hanging out, right? And plus, I heard you guys can make like pretty good, in an hour. Like Daniel
Oh, yeah.
was telling me, right? What's the most you guys make?
I mean, I don't do it very often,
Yeah.
but I just kind of did it for fun when I was over in, I think it was Scotland.
Okay,
Just 5 minutes, and I made about $40, me
Okay.
and my friend.
that's
So,
$5. Okay,
Mhm.
and it was just freestyle. So it was 40 each, or what?
Yeah,
Ah, that's pretty good in 5 minutes.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Most I've ever made from busking was
Okay.
probably about, I would say, 160 in 2 hours.
Yeah, that's
So, and it was two of us. So
Yeah.
we were just switching off back. Literally, it's a training session for us. We were just
Right.
switching off back and forth, and just doing our thing. And if people happen to crowd, I think it's that point where you start to get a crowd around you.
Mhm.
It has this attractive effect. People are just like atoms. They just kind of
Yeah.
connect, and they just crowd together when they see multiple.
You don't even have to do anything.
You
As
do
long as
not
there's
have
loud
to do-
music and you look
Exactly.
like you're about to do something,
You-
you'll get a crowd.
A lot of the times I see busking performances, and sometimes it's not even about what you're doing. It's about how you talk to the crowd, how you communicate with
Right.
them,
Right.
how you're able to talk about what you're about to do. I think that's really important as well, as to have like a speaker and a mic and just be able to communicate. But that's if you're taking it more to a serious performance. As to most of the time when we do it, we just kind of bring a
Yeah.
speaker and we just freestyle to the music. Like
I think
we're
that's how
literally
it's
having a meet.
different to the UK. Like there's a freestyler, Jamie Knight, another one of my really good friends in freestyle, and he's an absolute animal. But yeah, he busks quite a lot, especially down. There's a street called Grafton Street in Dublin, Ireland, and he can make £600 a day there,
Wow.
for like a few hours, and so yeah, he can make super good money from busking. It just depends on your style of freestyle. Like
Right.
I'm much more of a kind of control-based freestyler, like small technical movements and stuff, whereas he's the ball's flying all over the place,
Showy.
like using loads of different body parts.
Right,
So,
Like
good
Umar,
showmanship.
where every move looks like it's a save.
but you know what I mean?
Long
It's
legs.
just different freestylers are better for different things. So there's some guys who are going to really excel in busking, just because they naturally do a lot more extravagant movements. So yeah.
And you guys were talking about how like obviously it takes a lot of discipline, right? You have to sacrifice a lot, right? What are some of the the big sacrifices that you guys have made as a freestyler?
A social life.
Okay.
So yeah.
Like your friends are calling you out to hang out, right?
Yeah, like when I
happens.
finished,
Mhm.
when I finished secondary school or high school, I slipped into that sort of cycle where you're going out all the time. You have like a super active social life, but loads of other stuff took a hit, including freestyle. And the one thing that I would say about freestyle is that it's like my equilibrium. Like it's always what I go back to. So as long as I keep my freestyle on point, then everything else in life flows nicely. But I like disregarded freestyle completely over that period of time. And yeah, that sucked. So I had to kind of cut a lot of people loose just so I had time to be alone with the ball again. And so yeah, like lots of friendships. I've lost a lot of friends from freestyle. And I don't regret it, but you know, it's just one of those things. It's a difficult decision to make, but it's one that you have to make if you want to really dedicate yourself to the sport.
Right. You guys, you know, obviously everyone's kind of got the similar experience, right? But like, what are some of the major sacrifices? You have to sacrifice friends, or?
Yeah, I would definitely agree with Tom. Like,
Okay.
I think the social life is the biggest difference for me when it comes to freestyle, because you spend so much time freestyling, you spend so much time traveling and like doing performances and everything, and a lot of people don't understand that. So even if you have time to spend with them, like they don't understand why you're putting in so much time to just like hanging out with the ball and just like kicking it around. They don't understand it, and they don't understand something that's such a big part of like what you do and who you are.
Especially probably girls more than guys too, right? I would think
yeah.
like girlfriends that are not freestylers, or they're maybe not even be into soccer, they'll just be like, dude, Caitlyn's crazy, right?
Oh, absolutely. Like I'm lucky. A lot of my close girlfriends, they either freestyle or they understand it and they're around a lot of the freestylers. So I'm lucky in that respect. But yes, when I was in college, like people would see me with my ball and they'd be like, what's that weird girl doing over there like by herself?
Right.
And it's like, it's hard to connect with people when they don't respect what you're doing.
What about like family and parents and stuff? You know, you guys, how are your parents? Are they pretty supportive about, you know, like?
I'd say parents always kind of want you to go that traditional route, and
business.
Just they want you to be successful, and they don't. And obviously, when you start something as new and different as freestyle, it's pretty difficult to imagine where it's going to take you. You never really know how many opportunities you're going to get.
So they freaked out in the beginning on you.
Oh yeah, they definitely freaked out. Every day I was getting you can freestyle, but you know, you have to go to school, you have to get a job, you have to do this, you have to live a normal life.
Right. So they kind of like, you guys have been doing it for a while now. They all kind of just like settled down now.
And then when my as time passed and my parents saw how much better I was getting and how much I love freestyle, all the opportunities that I was getting, and how it was just kind of shaping and rewriting my entire life, because I'm definitely a completely different human being since I first came in contact with the ball. And it's interesting, to say the least, how you turn out when freestyle is applied into your life.
I definitely owe basically everything to my parents when it comes to freestyle, because back when I first started, like around 2006, 2007, it was nowhere near as big as it is even today. Competitions didn't really exist. Like the level was so much lower. There were a handful of guys worldwide who were making a living from it. So I said, I don't want to play regular football anymore. I want to quit for freestyle. I want to quit playing guitar for freestyle. Right. I dropped out of college for freestyle. And this wasn't when I was making money from it particularly. So they supported me.
So you quit soccer in order to do freestyle? It seems like a lot of people do that, right? Like you quit being a goalkeeper in order to do freestyle too, right?
Yeah, I played my first year in college, and then I quit because it just took up so much time that I wanted to put into freestyle.
It's difficult to go to soccer practice and then try and go freestyle.
So all three of you guys, so all three of you guys played soccer first?
Yeah. I started at 5.
Okay. And then you quit. So you were playing for college?
Yes.
You're on your college team?
Yes.
And how's your coach? So you said you're going to quit the team?
Yeah, because like I had the starting position and everything, but my coach and I didn't really see eye to eye with all of the time that I was putting into that. She thought I could have been using my time in a lot better ways.
Right.
And
especially as a goalkeeper, right? It's like, you don't even need to use your feet that much is what she's thinking, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Was it a she or a she?
It was a she.
Okay.
And as you said before, like the girls don't really understand it.
Right.
And it got on my nerves after a while. Like she would keep telling me that you need to spend your time more wisely, even though I explained like it was something that I did professionally, I took very seriously. And eventually I was like, I can't agree with you, and I can't listen to you if this is how you're going to keep treating me.
Right. Okay, so like what about within like competition, right? Because you guys all go to competitions and stuff, right? So you guys enjoy the competitive aspect?
Absolutely.
Or you guys,
I love the
you guys all like
competitive aspect.
It's the best.
It's the
There's
best?
no rush in the world
Really?
like the feeling after a good battle.
It's the best and worst thing ever. Like
Oh,
the
yeah.
feeling before you compete, it's disgusting. Every single
Right.
time, it's like I'm
You
waiting to
get
go out
nervous.
for a
You get
battle.
nervous.
I think, maybe I should just quit freestyle and I'll take
Altogether?
up like
Yeah.
growing vegetables
Oh
or
my
something.
God.
Like,
So then, you know how you were saying you don't get nervous performing anymore, right? Is
Yeah.
that within competitions too, or do you get
No.
nervous? So it's completely different.
Oh
So
my
if you're
God.
gonna perform in front of like a halftime show, right?
I could
MLS
I
game,
could do a
no
performance in front of 100,000
Yeah.
people and not
And not worry.
even like have a second thought in my head. And,
Okay.
but before a freestyle battle,
Yeah.
I'll be doubting every move from the day I was born until
Right.
the exact moment.
That's funny how you guys call it a battle, right? Because like when it's marketed, they don't really call it a battle, right? They usually, you know what I mean? Like from a company perspective, they just say like the tournament or freestyle, right? Do they, you know what I mean? Like
yeah, I mean, it might not be called like whatever the Battle of California or
Mhm.
something, but everyone who is in the loop of freestyle knows
freestylers
that,
think it's a battle,
yeah,
right?
it's always
exactly.
like that's the most traditional way of competitions these days.
Okay.
Battle between two guys or
Yeah.
two girls.
It's that
Or a
battle
battle.
aspect that
Uh-huh.
judges especially look for. You
Yeah.
want to see responsiveness
Right.
in freestyle battles.
Okay, so you
Don't-
think so then? Okay, so I was reading something recently, and then there was like this thread between freestylers are talking about how okay, so you guys all respect like Andrew Henderson, right? And that was
Oh,
a
yeah,
thread,
of
right?
course.
Is he like one of the?
Definitely.
Is he one of the guys that everyone kind of just within the freestyle
I think he's
world
one of the
respects?
best
Andrew Henderson
freestylers in the
is
world.
the best freestyler of all time, hands
Yes.
down, no close
Okay.
second,
Yeah.
for
So
sure.
for sure. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay, so like they were, and it was about him and the recent tournament that he was in, right? Which is what the world, you know?
F3 World
The
Tour.
World Tour.
Yeah, the world tour, right?
Tom was actually just
yeah,
judging.
I was judging. I came straight from there to here.
Okay,
actually.
okay. So then,
So you have one of the judges here.
okay. Wait, you're not the one that wrote that, did you? About the whole
No, I
because
haven't
there was some
written
backlash
anything.
on. Okay, so there was
I
some
don't get involved in that sort
there was
of
some
stuff
backlash on
anymore.
the judging, and then they were saying one guy was saying that, but it's a battle, and so
Uh-huh.
Andrew's really good at that, and he's not. It's not like a fixed routine. He's not
Yeah.
like right.
So the final between Erland from Norway and
Exactly.
Andrew Henderson,
Yeah.
I think Erland is for sure one of my favorite freestylers. Like he basically came from, no one really knew who he was. He was just some young kid who was kind of good at freestyle, whereas now he's absolutely one of the best in the world. But there's a lot of people who kind of, his way of freestyling battles doesn't sit right with them. And I guess I could say I'm one of those people. Like it's more of a show when he does it. He has all of his sets already prepared. He goes out with a notebook onto the stage and he checks it in between rounds to refresh his mind of what he's going to do next. Whereas someone like Andrew, he'll have all of the tricks and all of the foundations laid down, but when he gets on the stage, he's just a savage beast. Like he will. He imposes himself on people like no one else does, and everyone chokes against Andrew. Like it's very rare for someone to perform to their best ability
It's
against
so cool
Andrew.
to see.
He's
It's
so
like Tyson.
intimidating.
It's like Tyson, or what? Does he intimidate people?
It's what he does in the battle. He
Yeah.
makes it a real battle.
Right.
Like what I saw in that battle example
Okay.
with Erland and Andrew.
Yeah.
He pulled out some of Erland's similar upper body motions.
Right.
He was copying Erland's
Putting his
little-
hands on his hips.
putting his
and-
hand on his hips, and he was doing the rollers, and that's just classic Erland right there. When I saw him doing that,
You knew
I
right
just,
away.
I just
Everyone knew?
couldn't help but going crazy because
Yeah.
it's so awesome to see him
Yeah.
responding to Erland before Erland even started because
Right.
he knows what he's gonna do.
Yeah.
Right.
In
That
the-
was what they were talking about in the
Uh-huh.
thread. That's all the freestylers were, not all, but it was a very in-depth. Who were the other two judges? I think it might have been one of the other judges that wrote that.
One of the other judges, the two other judges were Daniel Dennehy from Ireland, Brazil,
Wasn't Daniel that
California,
wrote that.
and
Yeah.
Lars Munk Peterson from Denmark, who's a legend in their
Okay.
scene.
Might not have been one of the judges, but it was
Uh-huh.
basically one of the freestylers. He's a pretty good guy. I can't remember. And he was
Connor
saying,
Reynolds? Was it Connor Reynolds?
maybe,
Oh.
maybe.
He wrote a big
It
face
quite
work.
possibly
Yeah, that
could
was
have
it.
been.
Okay, I think that was it. Where he was, because there was controversy on the judging of
Uh-huh.
why Andrew won, right?
Right.
And people, but then he was basically talking about that, about it's a battle, and he's doesn't have a fixed routine, and you have to appreciate that kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
At the
You
end
guys-
of the
you guys all-
day,
He
you guys all
brings so much more of his own flavor to the
Yeah.
battles,
Personality,
as well. His
that's
own
part of it.
originality, and the moves he's pulling are just
Right.
so
Ridiculous.
insanely
Yeah.
difficult, and people forget that.
The thing
So-
with Andrew, like the difference between him and Erland, in my opinion, is that Andrew can do everything.
Right.
Like when you think about all of the big tricks, like Jordan stall, 3 revs, no touch, like Andrew can do all of that, but then he has his completely unique signature tricks that nobody else can even. I can't even contemplate some of the stuff he does.
He's got a book filled with.
Okay, so then why is there even any kind of like controversy or doubt of
because freestylers like to get involved in arguments like that. It's just what we do.
Right. Okay.
And some of them just don't understand that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So that whole community aspect gets put on pause for a little bit during the judging. Like, hey, man, that was terrible.
It's very, very, very difficult to judge a freestyle competition because
and it happens consistently
with
judging decisions. Right. It's opinion based. It's subjective. No one is ever going to be happy with every decision.
And these days, freestyles got to a point where the level is so high that every freestyler is a completely different freestyler. So. Like before, it was kind of easy to judge because most guys were comparable. They did the same kind of stuff. Whereas now, like when you look at the guys who are at the top, like we're all completely different freestylers.
Because the styles are so different. You're saying it's hard to judge one style versus another.
Yeah,
style.
It's not like a criteria where in gymnastics they have a certain required element that they have to perform, and then it's just down to the technique, the execution of that. It's because freestyle is free, but we're also trying to put it in a box and categorize stuff in order to judge it in a competition. It kind of clashes, and that's why you get exactly, and that's why you get so many.
Because there's so much you can do with freestyle. There's so many flavors, so many styles thrown in there from a million different other sports. Like even our battle structure is taken from something else. It's taken from breakdance.
Breakdancing battle, yeah. So isn't that why Andrew's so good? Because he can, it doesn't matter all the different styles and techniques, right? He has a very wide repertoire.
He can respond to whatever his opponent is doing. That's what I look for in a battle, at least.
He's someone who, throughout his entire life, he's been a competitor. Like he played rugby to a high level. He plays table tennis to a high level. He did judo to a high level.
Smashed me in table
tennis. He's just one of those guys who's a natural competitor and a real champion. So. It kind of sucks for me having him in the UK because I'm always kind of second best to him. But hey, like
so you've battled against him.
Yeah.
How many times have you battled against him?
Controversy.
What happened?
Much controvery.
Really?
So
is this a recent thing or what?
UK Championships last year. I went against him in the semi-final, and I'm not bitter about anything, but in my opinion and in the opinion of most people. Like I won that battle against him pretty comfortably. Like it wasn't close.
I was watching the battle myself. Okay. And I was sitting there and I was shocked. I was like, oh my god.
Maybe it's like boxing though.
Tom just went through.
Maybe it's like boxing where it's like if you have an
idol
champ
status.
Yeah, like a champ. You gotta like knock him out. Not like he kind of won. Then we'll go with the champ.
No, I mean without trying to
toot your own horn.
Like I don't want to get into conspiracy theories and stuff. No, Andrew would rip me limb from limb. But no, it was at like a football convention thing called Soccer X, and Andrew was going to be doing shows and stuff throughout the rest of the week after that competition. So and
there's some politics involved, right?
No, I don't want to. No? I don't want to say that. I don't want to insinuate that kind of stuff.
Yeah, was he going to be part of the Soccer X thing throughout the week? Okay,
yeah. So I guess
there's politics involved.
No, but but it would have been kind of weird if it was like, oh yeah, I just lost the UK Championship, but I'm here as like the champion. Yeah, but it doesn't take anything away from Andrew. Like
you guys are always saying he's like the best.
In that moment, in that moment, it was clear to me that Tom had taken it.
It was just tough for me because it was it was such a big opportunity for me to like finally be the UK champion. Yeah. And then I kind of lost my head a bit after that because it's hard. It was hard for me to keep focus after losing a battle which I thought I won against someone who, is just so unbelievably good.
Yeah, so good.
Right. So then have you guys battled against him or no?
No, thankfully no.
No, you haven't? Not yet. So you guys are all like, you're not looking forward to battling against him.
I
would
love to battle him. I would go all out. I would because I know I'm not. Well, I would give him my best. Yeah. But I wouldn't go out there expecting to win. Yeah. And that is what I think is really cool because there's no pressure when you're not expecting to win.
That's a good point.
I think when you have an opportunity to win the whole thing, it is 1,000 times more pressure on top of your head. Because you have that opportunity and it's like, okay, if I don't mess this up, it's mine. It's simple. It's in my hands. I just got to keep going. And that pressure just kind of keeps adding along as you push through the competition.
Right. So you guys like the? So you like the? It sounds like you guys like the adrenaline rush. Is there an adrenaline rush? Yeah.
I think like you can react negatively to it, but for me personally, I love the pressure just because like I feel grateful for it because there's not a huge amount of people who have something in their life which gets them that like nervous and they feel that much pressure because they love it so much that they want to do well in it. So whenever I feel that feeling, like I try and use it in a positive way. And I think if you do that, then that's really what it takes to do well in freestyle competitions, to take that energy. Yeah.
What about like competing against like other girls, other females, and competing against a guy? Is it, there's gotta be a little bit different.
Oh, yeah. Like I'm lucky. I consider myself lucky because I am able to do both because there's not a lot of girls in the U.S. So when I compete with the guys. But when I'm at Super Bowl, I compete with the girls. And I think there's a lot more pressure when you go up against the guys because from what I've seen, the majority of the guys tend to be a lot more well-rounded and more battle-ready than a lot of the girls because a lot of the girls, as I said, there's not many across the world. So we don't get to compete nearly as much. And so when you go up against a guy, you have to be on top of your A game. I competed against one of my close friends in North Americans this last year. And Magnet, he's from Canada.
That was a great battle.
That was a lot of fun. And it was one of the best battles I had had to date. And
he was a little scared.
Okay. So who won?
He won. It was a 2-1 win for him.
Okay.
But I had to bring out my A game. Whereas like, it sounds bad, but when I was at Super Bowl, I knew in the beginning rounds, because there were girls who weren't as battle ready, I knew I didn't have that much pressure on me. As I progressed, there was way more pressure. But in the beginning, there's girls who aren't as battle ready. Whereas like with some of the guys who are at like the lower levels, they're still a very strong competitor.
They're still used to competing and battling and entering, right?
Yeah, much more than the girls.
Just because of how many more guys there are than girls who freestyle at the moment.
So then, you guys want to talk about the whole Jereminho situation within the freestyle world, or what?
Oh God, no.
Yeah?
I mean, I don't know if there's that much to say really.
There's
Jeremy,
not really too much information in that situation.
He's one of those guys who like used to be one of my best friends in freestyle, I'd say. And he was just an amazing person to be around. And it's whatever. Like he has his own opinions on freestyle, and I agree with a hell of a lot of them. But he just has. I think he needs to work on his delivery of his opinions because he's turning a lot of people against him when I think that if he, I guess he doesn't really care about people's opinions anymore.
Well, so then you guys are obviously within the community, so you know the whole backstory, right? But like really quickly, what's kind of going on with Jereminho within freestyle and, what's going on? He's kind of like the Ron Artest of basketball, maybe, right? Where he's like good, but then he's like got that whole, he's like kind of crazy, right? Not crazy in a bad way, but like very different, right?
There's a lot of freestylers who, Jeremy wouldn't say there's a lot, but I would say there's a handful of freestylers in the world that Jeremy considers real freestylers because the way that those freestylers who are like-minded as Jeremy see freestyle as is more of an art, and the mentality is so similar to the breakdance community. I don't know if you know much about the breakdance community, but biting is huge. Right. It is massive, and it doesn't happen in that community because if it happens and there's a crowd of people watching,
it's called him a biter, right? And then his reputation's done.
Everyone knows. Everyone knows that's not your style. That's not your move. And it's so crucial for b-boys to bring their own flavor and their own style and their own moves to a dance battle.
So is that the main kind of controversy though of like, he's a very saying like, hey, everyone's a biter.
Everyone's a robot. Everyone's a robot.
But I think it's strange. It's strange because like I said earlier, every single freestyler at the top level is completely different. And I agree that there's a formula to competitions and there's like a formula to certain categories of freestyle, but like that's gonna happen. Like it's
been like that.
Yeah, it's been like, I think the main thing that frustrates me about Jeremy is that he's not been around for that long. Like he's not seen what freestyle was like back in the day when stuff like the very type of freestyle which he does now didn't exist when I started. So it's kind of weird for me to see someone like that speaking forcefully
authoritatively
about
it.
Exactly. When he wasn't around, like the stuff he does now didn't exist back in the day, and he doesn't really I don't think he really understands where freestyle came from. So it's difficult for me to hear him
You don't
call
just
people
cut down
robots.
the roots of
Yeah,
the tree
exactly,
after it grows.
exactly.
You know?
Like it's been Freestyle's bigger than Jeremy,
Sure.
and I think he needs to like remember
I
that
see.
sometimes.
So then he's like a really creative freestyler, and he's just like, hey, that's his emphasis. And like, if you're not creative, then you're just a biter and
if
stop
you don't-
biting on everyone.
If you don't have your own style,
your own style,
then what
I see.
is you,
Yeah.
you're not
a true freestyler.
you're not representing yourself through the freestyle that you do.
Right.
You're representing someone else. That's his perspective.
Does he still compete?
No,
He doesn't compete at all.
compete.
So he's against that aspect of the freestyle too.
Because competitions, as Tom was saying, are more focused on the original roots of freestyle, and
Right.
lowers is a massive, massive root in that aspect of freestyle.
Okay.
And it's not something that he enjoys or cares for at all.
He's not into lowers at all.
No, he used to be. Like,
used to be.
it's insane. Like, he used to say I was his favorite freestyler back in the day and stuff. So, but I think the thing is, with freestyler, there's a formula to winning competitions, just like there is with football, just like there is with rugby. I'm saying
What's
very
the
English
formula?
sports.
What's the formula?
No, so with freestyle, there are certain buzz tricks that,
Okay.
like Jordan stool, no touch, 3 revs, rollers in uppers, like
Mhm.
soul stool variations.
Okay.
All of these things are kind
Those are
of
certain things that you have to hit.
yeah,
in order
not that you have to hit,
Yeah.
but that
They're
a lot of
extra.
guys are.
They're
Yeah,
extra.
yeah.
extra
So,
hard.
but like
more
in,
difficult.
They're more difficult, yeah, I would say.
yeah,
like 3 revolutions.
then-
Like there's a
they're-
handful of
they're
people that can do
stepping
that,
it up.
right?
No, there's a lot of people that can do 3 revolutions. A
Uh-huh.
lot
It's just
of people.
considered more difficult.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So that but
But to
there-
do it in a competition and to be able to
Right.
land it consistently in
Yeah.
a battle is
Right.
impressive because it's a difficult
Sure.
motion.
I just
Yeah,
mean
yeah.
there's a formula in the sense that a guy like Tobias from Norway, he does the same stuff every competition, but no one can beat him because he'll do like a 3 rev combo to like 15 to 20 no touch afterwards. There's no one else in the world who can do that in a battle. So regardless of whether it's boring or not, that's what he's doing to win the competition, and
see.
no one can compete. And
I
it's the
see.
same with every other
so
sport.
that's the kind of thing that Jereminho is like, hey man,
I
it's
guess
just
so.
robotic.
I guess so, but
Yeah.
I don't want to speak for him.
Right, right, sure.
I'd like to sit down and speak to him personally, but
Yeah.
I don't know. if that's
Especially
gonna
being
happen.
here in California,
Yeah.
where he lives.
Oh, is he here now or what?
We
By
have
you.
no idea.
We have no idea.
Okay.
MIA.
Right. He's MIA.
Hashtag find Jeremy.
Yeah. Jereminho, hey, wherever you are, let us know, right?
Hashtag
Everyone wants to
pray
know
for
where you're at.
Jeremy.
Yeah, everyone wants to know where you're at. Everyone likes, I don't know, we all love him, right?
Yeah.
I respect him.
Yeah.
Like
This is-
any freestyler that's at anywhere near your guys' level, I have mad respect no matter what.
I've known
matter
him
if they're
since
crazy.
middle school.
Oh, you have? Okay, so you guys are buds.
We've been best friends.
Okay. So
I
then
mean,
you should
all-
know where he's at.
Yeah, he stopped talking to all of us.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then you know how you're saying earlier, like 3 revolutions. How many girls can, female freestylers can do it?
One.
Yeah, she's the only one, right? There's only one. Indy Cowie, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So
So,
you can see how difficult it is to be able to learn it and
Right.
then to be able to do it in a battle. It's a
Right.
whole nother thing.
Right.
And that's why Tobias, like Tom was saying, is
Mhm.
so insanely impressive. 'Cause
Yeah.
not only can he do it once in a battle,
Yeah.
he can combine it, and he can combine it multiple times into a
Yeah.
combination, which he's done.
And it's boring to watch.
you're
Like,
saying Tobias can do that, you're saying?
Yeah, he's
Okay.
done 4 3 revolutions in a combination in a battle.
Uh-huh.
I think even more. I
Yeah.
lost count. It's ridiculous how high the level of combinations, like in lowers at least, that are being pulled out today comparing to competitions back in the day.
Mhm.
It's really insane to see the difference.
Who are like the top 5 that everyone kind of just respects? Now, I'm not talking about ranking wise, but like within the world of
freestylers
freestyle.
in general.
Yeah,
or-
like everyone
That's
kind of
a
respects. them.
difficult question.
Yeah, there's so
Well,
many.
who do you guys respect then? Like in your top 5.
I respect like every freestyler, but
Who do you look
so-
up to as a freestyler? Like, wow, this guy, respect. In terms of like, if you
Um,
see him in a battle, in a challenge or whatever, like these are the
Yeah,
guys that you look up to.
I mean,
and look
just-
forward to.
it's difficult off the top of my head. Like personally, I really, really want to battle Andrew again. Like,
Okay.
I,
So he's
I-
up there.
Yeah,
Everyone
for
seems-
sure.
Okay. Who else?
Charlie from Argentina,
Okay.
Esteban from Mexico. Like honestly, there's so many. Luki from Poland, Mick Ritz from Poland. There's so many guys who are Gunther from Italy. That's a
I
big
see.
one.
Well, is there like some guys that everybody within, because you know how you guys,
I
we're
think-
all
I think
3 of
two
you?
of the most well-respected
Okay.
freestylers have to be Andrew and Mick Rick.
Andrew and who?
Andrew and Mick Rick, for sure.
Mick Rick?
Because-
Mick Ritz from Poland.
Mick
Yeah,
Ritz from
he's actually
Poland.
here as well at the
Yeah,
moment.
he's
Yeah.
here in California.
Wow.
Actually, he's on his way to Tijuana right now. So
Oh, yes?
leaving-
Pick up some
leaving
weed
now.
first and then come back? Or what's he going to
I don't know what Mick Rick's taste buds are like.
Mick
but
Rick. Okay. All right. So then who do you like look up to or, respect in terms of?
It's so hard to say because there are
So
so
many,
many
right,
guys with so
right.
many different styles and everything. One of my personal favorites besides Andrew is Shimo from Poland.
Okay.
And it's just like everybody kind of has their own different styles, and I tend to like people with like certain different styles.
Yeah.
So like there's Shimo who's like all around, but then like there's creative guys. Like I like Yorok personally. And it's hard to say because there's like certain things that I like from everyone.
I see.
Mm-hmm.
So then, other than the whole, judging and the battling and Jereminho, what other like controversial things are happening in the world of freestyle today? What are some of the juicy, fun stuff? What's going on?
Like going back to what I was saying earlier about making a living from it.
Mm-hmm.
There's definitely like there's definitely some stuff that goes on behind the scenes which isn't very pleasant,
Mm-hmm.
but on the whole, like there's really not many controversies within freestyle. Which
That's what makes the community so close.
Yeah.
There's rarely any problems, and if they are problems, it's,
Right.
it's not really.
It's not that big of a
Yeah,
deal.
yeah.
Other than
Yeah.
like the business side obviously gets into everything, right?
Business
But besides that,
gets into everything.
All right, fine.
and
What about female freestylers? There's some like hot female freestylers that all the guys like. Who's the
um,
hottest female freestyler?
hey, we don't objectify women.
I taught her ATW, so I consider the most attractive
Okay.
freestyler. When I worked for
Oh my god.
Who?
when I
That
worked
took
for
a
LA
second.
Galaxy, there
Uh-huh.
was
Oh, I know who it
There's-
is. Wait, she's small, short.
yeah,
Yeah.
Jessica.
Oh, yeah. Well, no, wait. Who?
Jessica.
Oh, okay, no.
It'd be so funny.
What's her
if she
last name?
watched.
Jessica.
Jessica Sanchez.
Sanchez.
Jessica Sanchez. Okay,
Yeah.
she's a freestyler.
No, she's not
No,
a
she's
freestyler.
not.
But-
We're not talking about random
we're
hot
talking
chicks.
about freestylers.
But
here.
she
Not
can.
random
freestyle.
hot chicks that you
There's
like.
not
Oh, she
too
can
ma-
freestyle.
Yeah, but she can freestyle.
Oh, so she can freestyle.
A little bit.
There's
yeah.
Little
a
bit.
difference between someone who can freestyle
Right.
and someone who I consider a freestyler.
Right. Is she better than me at freestyle?
Yes, she's better than you at freestyle.
Wow, she's that good, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I have to look
I
her up.
taught her. So
You never even seen me freestyle. How are you throwing me like you never? I can't really freestyle, but you never even seen me. It doesn't
I think
matter.
I saw you juggle
Okay,
the ball
fine.
once.
Yeah, I could do at least 10 in a row. You know what I mean?
All
Why are
right,
you
she's got a
laughing,
trick.
So what's Jessie Sanchez?
Jessica.
Jessica Sanchez. Okay. And so she's a female freestyler that you have a crush on.
No, she's a female who can do freestyler, who I think is the most attractive
The
female
most attractive.
who can do freestyle.
All right. Shout out to Jessica Sanchez,
Yeah,
right?
Hey, Jessica.
Yeah. Where is she? And where does she freestyle?
She freestyles randomly.
She's in California?
She's in California.
Okay, cool. We'll have to bring her out one time, and then we'll pop you out as the surprise
Oh,
guest
God.
co-host.
Oh, he'd love that.
Umar.
I wouldn't mind.
All right, Jessica Sanchez. All right. Is there like other freestylers that within
For
the
sure,
community? Who?
of course, there's female
there's-
freestylers who are attractive.
Yeah.
Like, so there's a girl called Julie from Colombia.
Okay.
She's like a model as well.
Is she the one that's always wearing high heels and doing the juggling?
No, that's
Oh.
Raquel Benetti from Brazil.
Okay, man, you guys know everyone. I just see that through the Instagram feed every
Yeah,
once in a while.
yeah,
She's
yeah.
always wearing heels, right?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
impressive to me
that's her
because
thing. I think it's.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what your opinion is on her, but like I
She's
don't
rolling
think,
her head like,
I don't think it's a
wait.
negative thing. I think it's cool. Like,
any kind of bringing spotlight to
hey,
the world of
it's-
freestyle.
It's not. No,
Right.
I think people take it too seriously, and it's like if she doesn't care about freestyle, that's absolutely fine by me. There's
Okay.
plenty of guys in the UK who don't care about freestyle but make
Okay.
a living from freestyle in
Yeah.
inverted commas. So. I don't know. I think what she's doing is cool, and if she's making money and she's having fun, she's traveling the world, she's got a shitload of followers on Instagram.
Right.
Then
That's her thing.
that's
She
great.
does freestyle in heels, though, right?
Yeah, but
Okay.
she might not even consider what she does as freestyle. I think
think
as
she
long
does.
as she, but
Isn't
as
her
long as-
handle something freestyle or no?
Yeah,
Right?
but I mean,
Yeah.
as long as she enjoys what she's doing,
Right.
and as long as people enjoy watching her,
Mhm.
then I don't think.
Yeah,
there's
Tom's all about the free
anything
love.
negative.
Tom's all about the free
Hey,
love.
yeah,
Right?
peace, love, and unity.
All
everybody.
right.
Plural.
Yeah.
Plural
Okay,
life.
so you're about to bust out a couple other names, though, right? Who else?
I mean,
Okay, so like when you guys go to like the big competitions, right, and then like
Yeah.
the world competitions, right, the recent one, are there like some female freestylers that the guys are kind of like looking forward to, hoping that she's gonna show up?
no,
No one really stands out?
I don't think so. It's
No?
not really like that.
Okay.
So freestylers are actually, I think I would say we're kind of respectful. I don't know what Caitlyn
Okay.
will say about that,
The
but
majority of
but
them.
no, like we're not.
Okay, you guys are pretty respectful to
yeah,
the female
it's
freestylers.
not really like that.
Yeah.
Right.
There's not really that kind of thing going on.
Yeah, because it's kind of like okay, so in tennis, not Nadal, but who's the one that's considered the best? That's kind of Roger
Djokovic.
Federer. No,
Oh.
Federer, right? Like back in the days, not maybe like 5 years ago when he was always like number one for like a decade, right?
Yeah.
All of the female tennis pros, when they did like a quick interview, like, oh, who do you have everyone said Federer. Like all of the female pros were like Federer. How about on the female side? Is there like a guy that's like a Federer?
Oh,
in the
Tobias.
Yeah, is it Umar?
Tobias.
No, I
It's
hear
Tobias?
it from. I hear it from.
You hear it from
it's
all the time?
Tobias.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
Tobias.
it's Tobias.
from Norway.
Tobias
Yeah,
is the
Tobias.
Roger Federer of freestyle.
Absolutely.
Tobias,
yeah.
did you realize you were the Roger Federer of freestyle? He's like, it's all humble,
let
right?
me tell you guys about the first USA champion.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay.
We had the honor and was it the first? It was the
I think it's
second.
the second.
It was the second USA Championships. We had the privilege of having Tobias over as one of the judges, along with Luke Casso.
Okay.
And man, just standing next to that guy in LA is like a magnet that just attracts.
What do you mean? Because of people recognizing him as a freestyler?
No,
No,
just because he's
how
good
he
looking.
looks.
Norwegian.
Yeah,
Just-
I've seen him online. He's
Yeah.
all right. No, he's really good looking though. He's the blonde, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's
Blonde, yeah. How tall is he? Because you're like 6'3".
I'm 6'4".
A little
You're
bit taller
6'4". How?
Yeah, I'm taller than he is.
Okay,
Yeah.
but he's what? He's up there. He's like
6'2", 6'3".
Okay, so 6'2". Is he Swedish or Norwegian?
Norwegian.
Norwegian blonde
Straight
stud.
Viking
guy.
Viking blood.
Okay, I hate
You know.
those guys, man.
I know, me too.
I know. And plus, and then he kicks your butt like in a competition most of the
yeah,
time,
it's
right?
not fair.
Ridiculously
On top of it.
good. Like,
I would also
yeah.
like to say a quick shout out to Sven from Luxembourg, who's
Sven.
another beautiful
First
man.
of all, I can already tell by his name he's the guy to be a good-looking guy. Sven,
yeah.
you know what I mean?
He's actually one of the most talented
Mhm.
editors for, I think, freestyle
Right.
videos
Okay.
that I ever posted a video online. He runs a very, very successful, what would you call technique?
It's like a freestyle
Channel.
production.
Okay.
Freestyle production.
Team.
All right, what's it?
Company
We'll throw a
crew.
name. Yeah, I'll do a shout
Yeah,
out there. What's the name of it?
Technique.
Technique spelled T-E-K-N-E-E-K. They're very famous
Okay,
in the freestyle
Technique. Yeah,
community.
yeah,
yeah.
So everybody will,
Okay,
everybody know. But yeah, I
Right.
love Sven. I've loved Sven since
Sven.
I started freestyle.
right.
Super nice guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Before I even met him, I was like, this
Right.
guy, I gotta meet him one day.
And he's
Okay.
got a lovely beard that I assume tickles when you kiss.
Okay, you assume. Okay, so Sven and Tobias are the studs in the side where the girls like.
There's plenty of studs in the,
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
freestyle community.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any other
Yeah.
names you want to drop, Caitlyn?
Um,
I mean, you're just representing the female. It's not like your own personal thing. You're representing the female
Mhm.
freestyler. your voice.
Ricardinho.
The
Rick
voice.
Gardino
Rick
gets a lot
Gardino
of
gets-
a lot of
really?
attention.
See, I'll say it for her because I know what she's thinking.
You know, right?
Rick
I know.
Gardino and Boyka get a lot of attention.
Ricardinho and Boyka.
Yeah.
Boyka is from Colombia,
Yeah.
right? I saw him. We worked with recently in a
Ricardinho
campaign.
is just too much of a beast. Like,
Ricardinho, where's he from?
he is from
Brazil.
Brazil.
Yeah.
Okay, the Brazilian guy, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, those guys that swoop in and take your girl. I hate those guys too, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thankfully, I'm a lot taller than he is, so
Right.
I don't think I have that problem.
Yeah. Okay. So then, but then you guys are a couple, right?
Oh my God,
That's not even
we're
funny.
not going
That's
there.
not even funny.
But the online world that's not in the freestyle community think that. Or, right? That's how you've been
It's
falsely
too many
It's
people.
given.
misrepresented.
It's
It's
happened.
taking a life of its
I
own.
didn't know this.
You didn't know that?
No.
Yeah, there are a couple online.
Oh my God, no.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, my
They,
evil
they
twin
didn't even.
is.
They didn't
Oh, your
even
evil
use our
twin.
real names.
I know.
Morgan, Kimberly,
Because
and
that makes it more interesting. Because if they use your real names, then you guys would quickly dispel the myth, right? But they created this alternate two personalities, and you guys are a couple, right?
They
That's
didn't
weird.
even. They didn't
Yeah.
name me. They just
They
said
didn't?
No.
Morgan, Kimberly, and her boyfriend. And
Oh,
then
so
they-
you don't even get the respect of a
Yeah.
name. You're just the
Exactly.
boyfriend.
Exactly. I'm just
Okay.
the guy doing tricks with his
Okay.
girlfriend.
Morgan
That's it.
Stanley? What was her name?
Kimberly.
Kimberly.
Yeah.
Morgan
Yeah.
Kimberly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how big of a social media following does Morgan Kimberly have?
Not much anymore.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'd be
she-
pretty sad if she had a bigger following than
Oh my
legitimate
No,
freestylers.
So what's
She
this?
was doing well.
Yeah.
she
Morgan
had-
Kimberly was.
Yeah,
So
she
Okay.
was
is this
doing
someone
well.
who basically stole your identity?
Yeah, it
It's
was
happened
just like a page.
multiple times. Like
Right.
Cool.
people just take Caitlyn's identity.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
then-
I've seen my own photos just being
Pop up.
freestylers
Yeah,
profile
that happens a
pictures,
lot.
Mm.
and I'm just like, okay.
I've had a lot of weird
Sure.
messages
Right.
before.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sure you're
Oh.
Tom
Weird
Folan,
messages.
so
You're right. But it helped you because like the recent PSG commercial that we just did, right? You look like one of the French players.
wait, what helped me?
The commercial, the
Looking
fact that you're
like
tall
other
and 6'3", you look a certain way,
Oh,
like your
yeah,
look
no,
helped on
definitely,
that one,
definitely,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
Okay, so you guys are not a couple then.
No.
Okay,
we're
well,
not.
okay, that was a little too strong.
No.
Shout out to Michael Bliss. We are
Oh
not
my
a couple.
God.
Why? What's up with Michael Bliss?
She just visited him in
Oh,
Minnesota. Yeah.
okay.
That's my
Hey,
boyfriend.
Michael.
Oh, that is. Oh, I didn't know that. So you guys, how long have you been dating for?
Not very long.
Not very long. It's a
Yeah.
new thing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So does Michael Bliss know about the Kimberly?
Everybody knows
Everybody
about
knows.
that.
They think it's hilarious.
Because who posted that on my wall? Was it
Mahal.
Mahal? It was Mahal.
Mahal.
Okay. Because you guys work, but then you guys work together and practice together and train together a lot.
That's why
We're
we always
friends.
get those kind of.
Yeah, you guys are friends,
comments.
We're
right?
friends,
yeah,
yeah.
and you have a lot of social media posts that were the two of you, so someone just
Yeah,
kind of made a joke.
yeah.
Right. Okay, so there's no truth to that.
No.
Not true.
All right,
It's
Michael
like-
Bliss, don't worry. All right, there's no truth to it. There's no truth to it. Right?
That's funny.
Oh,
Yeah.
man.
All right, so like you're gonna be here for a month. You said, right? What are you guys up to? What are some of the things that you guys are gonna do? What are some of the interesting things?
It's already been.
Yeah. Okay. So like for the people in Europe and your neighborhood and wherever you're from, like I'm sure they're like excited about you being in LA. You have certain things they're gonna bring back, or certain experiences they want to live vicariously through you. What's going on?
Hey, like I'm not really here to look for anything in particular.
Okay.
Like I'm not trying to go to
You're
the
cool
Walk of Fame and all that kind of
cool
stuff.
guy.
I just want to experience what it's like to spend a decent amount of time here and appreciate the weather.
Is this your first time in LA though?
Yes.
All right then. Whatever you just said goes out the window. You take him out to like Hollywood tonight one time, and all of a sudden he's like going crazy, right?
We've been taking him all over the place.
You guys have been already.
I've been having the true local experience so far. So.
Awesome. Okay.
There's nothing better than hanging out with the locals.
Right. Okay.
And I know California in my heart. I know everybody.
Okay. As a 20-year-old that can't even go to any bars or
California.
he knows LA like nothing. He's gonna take you to Disneyland. He's gonna take you to Huntington Library, and he's gonna take you to the beach.
Yeah.
After you're done with that, give me a call, and then I'll take you to the hot spots. All right?
Right.
Yeah.
All right. That sounds good.
Yeah.
I'll just stay at home reading.
All right. So then, what are some of the cool things that you guys have? That you're working on. Anything that you wanna, mention? Some interesting things that you guys have going on. Any personal freestyle, whatever. What's on the latest. For you guys.
So, like, I guess for me, like I said, I was trying to go down a kind of different route with freestyle. So, I'm super into nutrition and all that kind of stuff. So I'm really trying to.
And you're really pushing that vegan agenda.
Hey, no, it's because for me, it's the vegan lifestyle is just as much of a passion for me as freestyle is. Like
really?
It
goes hand in hand. Just at that level.
Yeah. Probably even more so, to be honest, because freestyle is cool and everything, and it inspires people to get out and get active.
Right.
But the whole veganism thing, like that's a message of compassion to to just try and make people wake up and see what actually happens and where their food comes from.
You should change your handle then to vegan freestyler. You know what I mean?
Actually, I was thinking about it, but
Okay.
I think I'd prefer to keep my own name for it.
Okay.
Yeah. So. Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
It's a brand name now, basically. Like TF, Tom Folan.
People know him as the
Everybody
vegan
knows.
freestyler.
No, everyone.
Actually, they do.
Yeah.
Everywhere I go, I get
Okay.
special treatment now.
Right.
It's cool.
Okay.
But no, really, more and more people are coming onto it. I get
Yeah.
messages damn near every day from freestylers telling me they want to give it a try.
Right.
And that's kind of like my main focus with freestyle at the moment.
Okay.
So yeah, that's what I'm up to.
Is a vegan allowed to partake in alcohol still?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, we're good then. All right, good. What else? What do you guys got going on then?
I'm mostly looking forward to some of the upcoming competitions because I qualified for Red Bull in London and then the F3 World Tour. So that's kind of my main focus right now.
Okay. So then the Red Bull Tour.
Mm-hmm.
So you're gonna be competing in that?
Yes.
Okay. The Red Bull Tour. Are you allowed to use? Because they have their own ball though, right? They have how they have that Red Bull
Monta ball.
Yeah. Do you have to use that one or no?
They got rid of that.
They did.
Yeah.
They got rid of it.
Thank God.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shout out to Red Bull for getting rid of that ball that no freestyler likes, right? But I heard it's good for street soccer, though. You know what I mean? Because it's like,
I think it's an awesome ball. I
Some
think
people
it looks
like it
cool
for
as hell,
freestyle,
but,
too,
right? Yeah.
It's just hard when you're not used to it and then they're telling you that that's what you have to use to compete with and
Yeah.
at your highest
It
level.
sucks
You
to be
should
forced to use something.
Yeah, you've been training
before.
You have to train for months with that particular
Yeah,
ball, right? To even
exactly.
get used to it, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's what you got. What about you, Umar?
I've just been filming a couple projects around Los Angeles with different companies, and I've been getting them and seeing how they turned out, and they always turn out really cool. Caitlyn and I are actually going to be filming with another company pretty soon called Tisper, and it's a freelance app in the U.S. where basically you can kind of sell what you do.
Okay,
And-
sell you. What does that mean? What are you selling?
I'm selling Freestyle. I'm selling
selling
Umar
Freestyle. Oh, okay.
I'm selling Umar Freestyle.
Okay.
That's what I'm selling.
What if some middle-aged women from Wisconsin wants you to do a freestyle session for an hour at
Or
her
she
place?
wants your old socks. What would you do then?
My old socks.
Yeah. If she
I
just,
would
That's
go-
nasty, man.
I go buy some new socks because that is nasty.
Right.
Some new socks. That's
Right.
a little bit sad.
So then you can get hired through that app, though. You're saying?
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. And Caitlyn and I are going to be doing some videography
Okay.
for them around Santa Monica. And I actually already filmed like a promo for them where they kind of set up this video that showcases what I do and
Right.
how to hire me and all of this stuff.
Okay,
and
awesome.
I'm excited to see how it turns out.
All right. Shout out. What was the name of the app again?
Tisper.
Tisper. Tisper.
It's going to be
Tisper.
big. I think these guys are really going to go places. They're doing a lot of great things with the app. And
Nice.
honestly, it's not just good for freestyle. It's amazing for anything. You can literally sell any type of ability or service on there, and it's just, it makes things a lot easier to find, because sometimes there's ridiculous things that
So it's not specifically for freestyle. You're saying it's just any kind of
okay.
It's
a
like
freelance
network.
It's freelance. Okay,
Yeah, it's a
It's
freelance.
like
Hey,
a freelance
if
Craigslist kind of.
if you ever want to move on from freestyle, then you should definitely be a, what's their name? Tisper. That's the spokesperson
I know,
for
you
that.
got it wrong.
Oh, I
He's
mean,
really going for it.
I would love to work for them. I went to their office. It was nice. I love working with computers. I can write.
Right.
I'll write some articles.
All right,
That doesn't sound
awesome.
like a problem. That sounds like a fun time.
Cool. All right, that's it for today's episode. Thank you guys for coming out. Have fun while you're here in LA.
I'm sure.
All
Definitely,
right.
we're
Yeah,
gonna-
after you're bored with Umar, give me a call. All right, take you out. All right.
I don't think I can.
All right. Thank you guys for joining us for Urban Pitch Podcast, the beautiful game of life.